Welcome to another episode of the Career Musician Podcast. Today we are talking about maximizing your creative flow state in your home studio. Now, why does this matter? Especially now, 2025, you're thinking, Nomad, bro, dude, I got this. I got my home studio dialed in. That's great. If you do, awesome. Rock on. Keep doing your thing. You know, let us know what your home studio is like. Tell us some of the most essential aspects of what you think a home studio should include. We'd love to hear from you. Get in on the conversation. We created, with the team and I here, a 6-step guide to pro-level sessions from home. It walks you through. It's got a gear checklist, super easy, free download. The link is below. You can check that out. Now, why is that important? Because I want to keep everything in a simple fashion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This podcast goes in tandem with your home studio part 1 and home studio part 2. Because in my first home studio in Burbank, California, where I was renting a home, it had this beautiful little guest house. The guest house was probably about 500 square feet. It was awesome. It had a bathroom and a kitchenette. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And that video, linked here as well, is super dope, and there was tons of space. Now I'm in a new home. We didn't have a guest house. Nowadays, that's less common. And I had to commandeer one of the bedrooms. Now, bedrooms 10 by 10. So right now, this is a 10 by 10 room. There are a few tricks. If you think about this, notice that I am coming at you here. If you're looking on YouTube, I'm coming at you from an angle, and behind me is the corner of the room. Okay, so I created some more depth right there. Now, if I just went flat, like there's the wall in front of me and then there's the wall behind me, it would have looked smaller. However, another trick that I did, see those little mini guitars up there and those regular guitars down there? That's a closet that I repurposed into a guitar case. Guitar hanger, if you will, or really a guitar, what we call when you tour, a guitar coffin, where it's got a bunch of guitars all up in a row. So that created more depth, because now I took the closet wall doors off, and the closet doors, I just put them in the garage. And now I got an extra, maybe 2.5, 3 feet of depth, which is really awesome. Okay, so that helps. But again, shooting at this angle here, you're getting the corner. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want to do that with your home studio, you can set up your control center facing a corner, and then you have another corner behind you. Now the sound is going to bounce around in a different fashion than if it was just square. Office dividers, like cubicle dividers that I got from IKEA, it's in the video, put those in the corner as bass traps. I have, if you look over here behind me, that is just a big foam baffle with a wood frame, and then I put some nice faux suede kind of thing. So that helps pick up some of that pinging. So these are just some tips that, you want to incorporate. Now, again, I say this for the people who are not used to doing home studio stuff. For those of you who know, great, rock on, do your thing. But for those who are a little intimidated by it, don't be intimidated. It's not that hard. And by the way, we also have another video linked below with my good friend Oksana, who didn't have a home studio, but we built a home studio for her in one day. So it's super easy and fun, and I don't want you to be intimidated by it. Now, the whole point of this podcast right here is I am gonna tell you my 5 studio essentials, but really I lied, because then there's a 6th, and then I lied again because there's 7. So really it's 5 studio essentials with 2 bonus. What? Yep, exactly. And we are gonna get into it right now. Step number 1, you have to define your motive. What is it exactly that you're doing with your home studio? Are you a composer? Are you a producer? Do you produce for other artists? Do you produce for yourself? Are you an artist? Are you just a singer-songwriter? Or do you do full-blown music arrangements with your artistry? So whatever it is that your main objective is, you have to set up your studio space accordingly. For instance, as you can tell, I'm an oboe player. Ba-dum, psh. Little dad joke there. Okay, but you can see all my guitar instruments. So clearly I'm a guitar player. That's my primary instrument. Now I play some keys, play some drums, of course play bass, I sing, I do this and that, right? But my primary objective is guitars. And I've built a career out of recording guitars for lots and lots and lots of people. And I continue to do so. Although now I'm kind of morphing more so into my own projects and into composing, but still guitar is my primary focus. So again, I have my guitar closet. I took a closet and repurposed it into a guitar station. Bunch of the little guitars. I have a mandolin, a balalaika around here somewhere. I have a cavaquinho. I have several different ukuleles. I have a banjo, right? So all different kinds of guitar instruments. Then I have back here, you can see a bunch of pedals. I have amp heads over there. And then I have some amp heads over here. And then I have a bunch more pedals over here. You get my point. The thing is, I can reach these things really easily. This is my control station. I can push out like this, whoa, and then I can come back in. Enough shenanigans. You get the point. In order to make music your business, remember this, your home studio is your headquarters. That's where you do business. Don't bleep around. No TV, no video games, no toys, no doggies, no kiddos, no distractions. When you come into your home studio space, you really want to maximize your creative output by maintaining a focused work environment. I'm not trying to be boring, but you could be fun with it. Like, I mean, I have Baby Yoda. Come on, that's fun. I have some little cool neon lights and vibey things. We're going to get to that. But the point is, you want to be focused on what? Music. Okay, next on the list, acoustics. That was a fake reverb, by the way. Here's the deal. Acoustics are not that big of an issue. I don't want you to get all like mind bendy over it, because I don't. Now check this out, gang. For real. I've been a professional musician for over 3 decades. And I don't know all the scientific ins and outs of acoustics. I'm not an acousticist. I'm not that, but I am a professional musician. So here's some of the basic things. Number 1, put a rug on the floor. If you have tile or a hardwood floor, put some rugs or carpets. If it's just bare walls, hang some tapestries. You can create really cool sound baffles like I did back over there by just taking some foam. You get some foam, like the egg carton foamy things. Put a wood frame around it, staple it, and hammer it all together, glue it on there, put some fabric, stapler, bam, 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 bam. And that video, you're going to see that in here too as well. Hang those on the wall. Not a big deal. Hang some curtains. Curtains are so easy. Literally, if you do nothing else, take some curtains. You can see that rod right there. That is a rod that goes from one side of the room to the other. It's just 10 feet. And that's a painter's rod from Home Depot, where, you know, when you paint and you want to have an extension rod, I bought one that was like $12. Put it up there, and then you can hang big curtains from there. And you just created deflection. You created sound absorption, right? So it's not going to ping, 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 ping around. Now, the other thing is that I want to talk to you about when it comes to acoustics, it's really basic. Have some good studio monitors, but make a triangle. So left, right, you, right? So you're the center. And then speaker 1 is on the left, speaker 2 is on the right, and make a nice equidistant triangle. That's it. Not a big deal. And if your speakers, if you're worried about getting like a lot of rumble and vibration, just put them on some foam lifters, right? They have these foam lifters. I think it's in the links as well for the Amazon checklist down there. Foam lifters, pop it in there. This is not hard, so I don't want you to be intimidated by it. If you don't have that, take a freaking towel, fold it up like a hand towel. You know the hand towels you hang in the bathroom when your mother used to say, "Don't use the nice hand towels because they're for show." That's what my mother used to say. Take some of those bad boys, fold them up, put a speaker on that. Bam. Quick sound absorption. Okay, another tip is, you know, look, if you want to have, because think about sound waves. When you play a chord or a note, you sing a note, play a note on the violin or a saxophone, and it goes ping, ping, ping. It's pinging around. That sound wave is pinging around. We need to diffuse those sound waves from pinging around like crazy. Have bookshelves. Have curtains. Have furniture. You can, man, if you have a bunch of soft furniture, go to IKEA, get some soft furniture, like a soft, fluffy chair, boom, pop it in the corner. That's a huge diffuser and sound absorber, okay? So don't worry about it when it comes to acoustics. Just kind of use common sense, like, I know there's going to be sound whirling around in this room. How can I stop it from going crazy, you know? Okay? So that's it. Now, this is on the list for a very, 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 very important studio essential. We're going to have these studio noise suppressor jams. If you're just listening on the podcast, basically you go to Amazon and you put, you just type in like noise, door noise suppressor, room door noise suppressor. And it's these two foamy things that are the length of the bottom of the door, and they're housed inside a piece of fabric, and you slide it underneath the door, and when you close the door, it creates like a foam seal on the outside and on the inside. It's brilliant. It's amazing. It literally makes a difference between Sir Duke Ellington, my dog, going crazy and capturing it here versus, he's kind of there, but faintly. It makes a huge difference, okay? Now, the next tip for optimum home studioage is optimize your workflow and your creative flow state. How do we do this? We got to stay in the zone, right? Have you ever come into your studio or wanted to record something? You're like, oh, I got this idea. It's burning in me. I have to get it out. Oh, shoot. The freaking thing isn't plugged into the thing. And now I got to find the other thing and the adapter thing and the other thing and the thing and the thing. That's so effing frustrating. This is where we have to, when we're not in a creative flow state and we're in our little engineer technician mindset, like, okay, all the little synapses are firing off and we're like, okay, now I'm going to put my engineer cap on and wire my studio. That's awful. I hate that. But we have to do it. So take 15 minutes, get your laptop, set it up perfectly where it's always going to live, plug it in, make sure the power situation is always ready to go, plugged in. Get your interface Focusrite, UA, doesn't matter. Whatever you're using, Universal Audio, Focusrite, I don't care what you're using. Get it set up right next to the laptop, plug it in, always have it ready to go. Get your mic stand, plug it in, set it up. That's where it lives. It does not move from there. You know what I'm saying? Have all these things ready to go. Have all your instruments on the opposite side, on another wall, another corner. As you can see what I've done here in this room. And you'll see in the other videos, the home studio part 1 and part 2, it's all about the ergonomics. And you want to be able to move. Look at that. In frame. And out of frame easily. So we have a good office chair, which brings me to the next point. Have a comfy office chair that is quiet, no squeaks and ticks and all that stuff. Have it on wheels. If you're a guitar player, you're not going to want to have, like me, you're not going to want to have the armrests, although I have armrests on this guy, but they're set really low. So if I sit up high, I can be unhinged by the arms, okay? Very, very, very important. Have your DAW ready to go on your laptop. And by the way, set up templates. If you know you could do a ton of session work for your friends and clients and colleagues and whatnot, have session templates. Oh, this is my template for multi-tracking guitars. This is my template for acoustic guitars. This is my template for a big old pop session. This is my template for a film score. This is my template for producing a singer-songwriter. This is my template for producing a 12-piece band. You know what I mean? Like, have all these different templates for whatever it is you do. Also, have a little drawer set thingy, which over here again, you can see I have some drawers there. Have all your cables, hard drives, everything that you need in these drawers. Label stuff to minimize the frantic, I don't know what I'm going to do. Where's that freaking thing and that adapter and the thing and the thing and the thing? I hate that. We want to stay in the creative flow state. So, okay, very important. Now, the other thing is the next step, mood enhancers. You want to come in here, look at all these cool lights. I got blue, I got light blue, I got in between, I got Star Wars blue, I got Yoda, I got some white, I got some yellow, I got some this and that, and it creates this vibiness. So when I come in here, I actually want to work. Talking to you on YouTube or on audio platforms is a blast now, because when I come in here, I'm like, oh, this is cozy, this is comfy. I feel like I can talk to my community just like I'm talking to my friends and family right here, as if you were sitting right here with me. That's what I want. Same thing musically. If you were sitting right here and we were just jamming, that's what we want to create in our home studio. Don't make it like a solid white room where the sound goes ping, 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 and there's nothing on the walls and there's no kind of vibe and it's messy. If it's messy, clean it up. Listen, I know my house is a mess. I don't want you to see it. But my studio, I try to keep it nice because I got to work in here, you know? So all these things make a big difference, believe it or not. Now, talking about the speaker system and the monitors and the headphones and all that stuff, it's not as crazy in depth as you may think it is. Just make sure your speakers are at ear level. So watch, my chair is adjustable in height. If I go down, I'm lower than my speakers, right? Just like I'm lower than this video. But then if I come back up, now I'm at the perfect height of my speakers. So I did that on purpose, right? It doesn't matter what kind of chair you're sitting on, which height. I don't care if you're low, squatting, on your knees, if you're standing, doesn't matter. Okay, just make sure your speakers are around ear height. Oh, by the way, another thing in the essential tips is the adjustable desk. So I can stand up, I can lower it, and that's really cool. And if you're just recording, when you stand up, like a lot of times I stand up and play guitar and record just because I want to give my back, my lower back and my glutes, I want to use them, exercise, so I stand up. If you're just recording, it's cool. You have headphones, or even if the speakers are below you, it's okay. But when you're mixing, that's when it's really important to have the speakers ear level, okay? Very, very, very important. Mic placement, as you can see, I have this beautiful Neumann TLM, whatever it is, 104 TLM. Have it where it's easily accessible. Look at this. Watch. Wait, what? What's happening right now? Can you hear me? 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 Oh my gosh. And for those of you who are listening on audio, I basically just took a giant freaking boom mic stand and I'm pushing it back and forth. I'm just moving it. Okay. So that's what you want. So it's super, super duper easy and quick, accessible. Now, if you're going to do a lot of vocals, you want a vocal booth, set it up in the closet. Hang blankets, curtains, pillows. It's all good. Isolation is easy. It's not as hard as you might think. Now let's talk about some pro tips when it comes to like the difference between the amateur, hobbyist, noob recording, person versus like a professional. ABR. What is ABR, man? ABR. Always be recording. Never, never, never sit down in your studio and start playing. I don't care if you play flute, horn, violin, guitar, trumpet, piano, if you're singing, never just sit down and start creating without going in red, we call it. The professionals say, yo, we're in red. Once you hit that red record button, back in the day in professional commercial studios, they used to have a red light over the door. And that meant when that red light was on, don't enter because they're recording and you don't want to mess up that take. Same thing here. We're going in red, baby. Always go in red. Always be recording. That's rule number 1. Okay. Rule number 2, the more prepared you are, the more creativity you're going to be ready for. So get all this all this technical shit done. Don't wait to do it when you're like, oh, I got to record a track, but first I got to go in there and plug everything in and find that adapter for the thing and the thing and the thing. Don't do the thing and the thing and the thing. Do what you want to do, the music, okay? Very important. And then use pop filters. I'm not using a pop filter right now, but I got one over here when you're singing because you don't want the you don't want those guys. And then here's the other super duper duper best professional take I can give you. Do multiple takes and comp later. What do I mean by that? Do multiple takes. If you're like, oh, I got to do this piano track. Great. Do 3 of them. Then go back. So do 3 tracks. Get in that zone. Be like Mr. Piano person. Be like the most expressive piano player you can ever be in the whole wide universe. Get all 3 takes out. Just be like, yeah, that felt great. Now get up, walk out of the room, go get a glass of water, go get a drink, go get a snack, stretch your legs, give your ears a break, come back 5 minutes later and start comping through the takes. So you have 3 takes. Make a playlist in your DAW and just go through. Oh, I love the intro on take 1, but I love verse 1 on take 3. Ooh, wait a minute. the bridge on take 2 is killing, so let me edit that. You know what I'm saying? Then it becomes a game of Tetris, which is fun in its own right, but you're thinking like an editor now, which in turn makes you a producer. Because now you're like, wait a minute, I'm going to take this take, and comp them together. And that's okay. This is the beauty of having a recording studio. This is what we do. We edit. And if you think that any of your favorite songs that you've ever heard have ever been one take Jakes all the way through with everybody, chances are that's not true. Okay, now that does happen, especially back in the day, early 20s, 30s, 40s. Yeah, you couldn't do overdubbing. 50s, 60s. I think maybe the Beatles started experimenting with overdubbing. I don't know if they were doing takes, but I know they were doing You know what? No, they were doing takes. So 60s, 70s, then you could start doing different takes and whatnot. But it's now with technology, we have that luxury. So use it to your advantage. Okay. So very important. Those 3 pro tips. Again, ABR, going in red, always be recording. Do all the technical stuff first so you can just do the creative stuff. That's the second. And then third, make sure that you do multiple takes and you can comp things together. Okay. Remember, here's the saying, great music isn't made in one take. It's sculpted from several different takes. And that's, from raw ideas. And that's sure, that's the idea. Okay. But don't beat yourself up. You don't ever have to be a one take Jake. Have I been that? Yes. And I prided myself on doing that in the studio all my years recording in Nashville, here in LA. But it doesn't always mean that that's the one. Now, there is something else to say. I should say this. This is an addendum to that. As a pro, a lot of the times the magic is in take 1, baby. A lot of the times. And don't prepare for it. You don't have to be, let me practice. No, don't practice. Go in there, let the music hit you and see what happens. And that magic from that whole space and all the little micro neural things happening at once and the synapses and everything just triggering, it's magic, and you can't reproduce that magic. So always be recording. That's why I say. And then sometimes take 1 is the best. Okay, now here's the thing. I have a lot of gear. I have a shit ton of gear. I know that. And people are like, whoa, it's easy for you to have a lot of gear. Yeah, sure. But this is over 30 years in the making. You don't need any of this. You need one instrument or your voice, a good microphone, a decent microphone, and something to capture the recording with. And that's it. But still make it cozy. Okay? The cozy is inviting, and that's what we want. All right. And then finally, I'm going to say this about professionals. Professionals know that collaboration is the key element to creating that magic. No man is an island unto himself, meaning that nobody can just live on their own island by themselves all the time and be all things to all beings. No, it doesn't work like that. We are tribal people. We are tribal beings. We are community oriented, create with others. That's when you get some of the best sounds. If you think of some of your favorite bands, they're bands. If you think of some of your favorite artists, they still have a band behind them. Now, sure, there are solo performances, absolutely. And there's a time for that, and that's awesome. But don't be afraid to collaborate, okay? Well, basically, that's it. And I want you to remember something. Just like your body is your temple, you have to respect it and try to take care of it. It's true, because time goes by and we age, and believe me, it happens. Your studio is your creative temple. You want to respect it, refine it little by little, and it will continue to serve you. Change it. It's amorphous. It's always growing. It's not this thing that could just be pinpointed, although it should have that main objective to record your creative inspirations, but it can also constantly be evolving, okay? So that's the good thing about it. Remember, the Career Musician exists to empower musicians just like you and me with strategies to make a damn career, because this shit is hard. But when we encourage one another, we can do it. And I'm living proof. I've been doing it for over 3 decades and still going strong. Whether you're just starting out, you're in the middle of your journey, or you're an old pro like me, let's chop it up, man. Hit me some comments here. Drop me some comments. Let's talk about it. I want to know more about you. I want to know about your studio essentials, with some of your ideas. Do you have some ideas that you want to hear me talk about? Do you have some people you want me to interview on the podcast? Let's chop it up. Let's get into it. The Career Musician, where we help you get the gig, keep the gig, go beyond the gig, and make music your business. It's legit, baby. All right, don't forget to check out the 6-step studio guide if you need that. And then, of course, if you don't, make sure you subscribe. Hey, if you're listening on Apple, you can rate us and review us. And we need that. The more reviews we get, the higher rankings up we go. And then the more people's eardrums we can hit. And that's important because I need your support just like you need mine. So let's support one another. All right, gang? Rock on, rock and roll, R&B, everything in between. And I will see you on the flip side, either in the studio or out there on the road or right here on the YouTubeage and the podcastage. Much love. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications. As well, you might want to check out the next video we have catered just for you.